Hi guys, I am the author of Simple Cake and welcome to my kitchen, to my home. I'm so glad that we can be together and that I can teach you and maybe inspire you to do a simple cake this weekend. So come on, I'll show you what I think is like one of the most simple and beautiful ways to decorate a cake, and it doesn't involve a whole lot of buttercream and a whole lot of laboring over anything. So come on, I'll show you. Here, basically I've made the chocolatey chocolate cake, and I'll just show you where that is in the book. It's one of the easiest cakes in the book because you simply put all the dry ingredients together and then you add the wet ingredients. It's like, I say it's as simple as a Betty Crocker cake, and it's just as moist and delicious, if not more. Kids can do it. You really can't, go wrong. So I've used a really simple recipe, and I've used a dark colored cake because then I think it makes a contrast to what I want to do, which is I'm going to share with you how I make my stencils. This is the olive oil cake in the book, so you can do this really to a lot of cakes. So I'm just going to move the book off to the side. So I've got my chocolate cake, and what I've done is I have cut a parchment paper disc, which I just traced around the bottom of the pan to get the size. And then it's a bit like making a snowflake, really. It's exactly like making a snowflake. So I just connect back to the child within and I fold it up into, you can probably even go smaller. So I've got my layers. And just make the corners nice and crisp. And then really, and this is like fun activity for kids as well, you could like just cut out a couple of discs for them and it kind of keeps them entertained. But, and then you just cut in different shapes into the paper. These scissors I've got are pretty blunt and old, but they still do the trick. So, and you can do semicircles, whatever you like. And actually, one time when the kids had a birthday party, I just made a bundle of these and I strung them up on a piece of paper, and they were the decorations. And I thought they just looked so sweet and lovely and simple. So, you can do that as well, seeing as we're all stuck inside right now, trying to come up with inventive ways to entertain ourselves and kids. All right, so that'll probably do. I mean, I could put another, let's try another little one in here. There we go. All right. So then you just open it back up. See, doesn't that look gorgeous? And then, essentially, you place it on top of your cake. Now mine, it's feeling like it wants to lay that way. So you can always put it under a book too, if you would like it to be really flat. And then, over here I've got some confectioner's sugar. So, you can either use, I've got this sweet little tea strainer that, I'm going to shut this door from outside because that wind, you don't want any wind around at this point. I've got this little tea strainer. I feel like that's great because it's small, but if at home you've just got a sieve, that will be fine as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some, and you can just have a practice to see how much comes out. And then I'm going to hold this down and I'm just going to work my way around. See, I think that in itself already, I've got a bit much in there. I'm going to take some out. It's a bit tricky. I'm just going to do this. I mean, that looks so pretty already. It makes me feel good. I hope it does the same for you. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to really gingerly pick my hand up. So you really want to put a good coating on, because then you get more of the shape. So with this chocolate cake, you can either, in the book I give lots of different ways that you can top these simple cakes. And one of my favorite ways to do it is to get whipped cream. And this cake really loves Nutella whipped cream, and that's basically where I get about 4 tablespoons of Nutella and some heavy whipped cream, and I whip it together. Or you could make vanilla whipped cream, or you could put some booze in there if you wanted something for dessert. All right, that already is my paradise. I'm already feeling really wonderful about that. And so what we're going to do is, we've got this. You're going to take it off really carefully, because you don't want to like destroy your shape. So you want to use your 2 hands, and we're going to just lift it off carefully and pop it there. So that, you can do all sorts of patterns, and then you could just serve it up. But let me show you another thing that I do as well. So that's a stencil option. But let's just imagine that another really favorite way of mine to decorate is, and I'm going to use the big sieve now. I'm pulling out the big guns. Is if I didn't do the pattern and I just wanted to dust it, the whole top of the cake with confectioner's sugar. I just do that, and I even like it going on the plate. I think that's really pretty. And then I went around my garden this afternoon, and I just like pick, maybe if you just see, I know that blooms are in, like spring blooms are in, so just keep your eye out for something simple and beautiful. I had some jasmine, some lavender. But I mean, in all honesty, like it can be as simple as that, which is lovely. Or, you know, you could be more avant-garde, but still keep it simple. And you could just layer on, just play around with I'm trying to see what you guys are looking at perspective-wise. Maybe that, and then some of these leaves are really beautiful. I'm going to take some off. Anyway, kids like to do this as well, so you could kind of get them involved. You could do something like that. Or another option could be, I have these lavender strands, and deliberately cut them long. So, and then what I'll do is I'll just use another strand. So I'm just going to use this as like a rope. So I'm going to take that one off. And this one's a bit softer. So I'll just bundle this up, and I'm going to just wrap that around to hold them, and see if I can stick it through, a bit like my belt. There we go. Even that's pretty. So, and then maybe I'll just trim these off. Okay, so take 2, second outfit for the cake, third outfit for the cake. And then maybe you just go for something like that. Maybe we'll trim them off a bit more, just so they come up shorter. Anyway, this is how I think cake should be done. It doesn't have to be labor intensive. I got up this morning, I kind of got the kids ready for school, for their virtual school, and I just popped this cake in the oven, and it really didn't take long. And there is just something to be said about the smell of cake baking in the oven. It does make you feel good, and if there's someone that you can bake a cake for right now, I think that that's a really lovely gesture. And it's why I kind of wrote the book, really, is that I think baking can be really intimidating for people, but the kind of baking I do, it's not, it's very approachable, and it makes you feel really good. And I think right now we could all do with a big cake hug right now. So I hope you enjoy it, and the recipe will be in this post, and enjoy having some cake this weekend. And thanks for joining me. Take care.